Live from inside Porsche Colorado Springs, it's the First Dips podcast with our hosts, John Deisty and Justin Underwood. Buckle up and let's go for a ride.
Well, this is the most exhausted group of four dudes I've been with in a while. Welcome back to the First Dips podcast with our larger-than-life friends, Ryan Barkey and Dan McInnes. They are back in a week out or so from their adventures at the Colorado Grand. I'm super excited to hear about that. I think we should zoom out on them a little bit so they can catch the back of my head. And then they'll look more normal sized. But super excited to hear about this. The Grand is kind of our favorite bucket list rally thing that neither of us we've had a chance to do it, but we haven't taken advantage of doing it yet. And we'll get to live vicariously through you guys. Excuse me, that was the Italian. Before we get started on the fun stuff, we've got business. What are you doing? Did you zoom in on me?
Do we have business?
I think we have business.
I don't know what. There's been a lot.
Infinity Red Hook.
It's not Red Hook. An Infinity Q50 Red
Baron. It's the pizza?
Red. It's not Red
pizza.
Dot. What is it called?
Snoopy. It's the Snoopy. We should put the red.
But an Infinity
Red
Q50 Red something.
Shift?
Red.
That means
It's
fast,
just red.
huh?
Yeah, it's
I think it's a GTR underneath.
Maybe.
Like, I'm not kidding.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's like a GTR with 4 doors.
Mm-hmm.
Or not. Or it's
yeah,
not.
I'm guessing
Or it's not, but
I'm guessing probably not.
it's somewhere in there.
2025 Carrera S Aero kit car.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
That's a great car. Mm-hmm. Dark blue interior, chalk stitching.
Vanadium gray exterior.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's a
Front lift.
Mm-hmm.
Happy exhaust.
Mm-hmm.
They all have happy exhaust now.
2003 Boxster S.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
We sold that one.
Speed yellow.
Yeah, we already sold that.
Wow.
Yeah. we got the title about 12 minutes ago. What else?
Wow. It's been kind of a haywire week. So, I'm trying to think.
I think that's good.
There was a Jeep. But,
There was a Jeep. That sounds good.
right.
Cool.
That's business.
Yep. There you go. Thank God that's over.
Have a good week.
Jeez. Yeah. So intro, I think a lot of people already know Dan and Ryan. They've been on our show multiple times. Ryan is our buddy from, originally we met, Justin was hosted on the steering committee, probably about 13 years ago. They did the Porsche raffle or the Porsche draft, I guess,
right. Long time
trying
ago.
to figure that out. And, so he now hosts That Car Show with our other great friends, Lindsay Jesh and Dan Pilling. So we love that show. Super fun to have him here. If you want more content, he also had Derek Tam-Scott, and I don't remember the other guy.
Tazio Otis.
Yes.
Great guys both.
Who are also on the Grand. They were on their show last week, so go check that one out. And our buddy Dan of 100 Million Mile Spider fame.
Right.
He now has a few other fun cars, one of which went on the Grand and performed brilliantly. So the Spiders may be getting a little bit of rest. Fun fact, the transmission is out of the Spider. The car has over 100,000 miles on it, and the clutch is as new.
Nice.
Not quite as new, but close enough.
Well,
it would do another 100,000 miles.
I was gonna say it's the transmission is out by choice.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
not by necessity.
Yep.
Yeah, the transmission has been shipped off to Sharkworks in the Bay Area, and I am re-gearing it, gears 2 through 5, to be about 15% shorter.
Wow.
And we're all very interested in driving it when he takes delivery.
Yeah,
Those of
totally.
us who don't have that kit.
Right,
Yep.
right. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, we may sell a few more of those after doing this.
For sure.
My real hope is that the car gets a little bit more of that sea level feel in those gears. Because you figure 15%, 15%
Sounds about right.
mechanical advantage.
Mm-hmm.
It won't have quite the same snap in the sound, but that's fine.
Yeah.
No, it was just I figured it was a good stopping point for take stuff apart, see how we're doing on things, make sure nothing's broken, yeah. Also, I'm waiting on those, and this is entirely your fault, John. I ordered a set of the Manthey Porsche GT4 lightweight wheels.
Nice. Wow.
Those should have been here already, but one of the wheels was damaged in shipping, and so they were waiting on another set to show up.
Wow.
Or another wheel at least. So
Right.
Those are going to be wicked.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
that'll be cool.
What's the weight savings on those?
It is 9.8 kilograms overall, so about
Jeez.
about 5 pounds a wheel.
That's significant.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
So shorter gears, lighter wheels, should be exciting.
Right. Holy cow.
cool.
And now I need to spend the money on my other wheels, my original wheels, to get them re-rounded because we had some road construction near me, and one of them is bent. So
Right. Wow.
Price to pay for 100,000 miles.
yeah.
Right. So anyway, with introductions out of the way, I think you guys, just take us through the event, right? Ryan, you've done it before. You helped
Yeah,
write the
yeah.
route book.
Yeah.
I would love to know about kind of the route that happened this year.
yeah.
The cars that are there, what the standouts were, and then Dan, kind of talk about you were lucky. Well, not lucky is the wrong word. You were
No, lucky's the right word.
well. You took your dad. How cool is that? You got to have a generational trip. Like when my dad and Lewis and I all get to go out to California, it just becomes a different event.
Yes.
When you get to share this passion that we all have with, the guy that made you. Like that's pretty amazing. That's super cool.
And
Yeah.
Billy's a hell of a guy too. He was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was envious at what they were able to do there. That was cool.
Yeah, my dad's a riot.
Yeah.
He's just a big social butterfly.
Yeah.
So
I should say though, boys, coming down after a week on the Grand, I mean, it's a hell of a come down, right? Life is just kind of boring after a week with those people and those cars and all that. But this year, to answer your question, we did more of a northern route. So we went up Walden and Encampment in Wyoming and that direction more, as opposed to last year, I guess it was, where we went west to Moab and Durango and Telluride. So beautiful part of the state. It's a part of the state I think a lot of people don't get to see, especially up into Wyoming. Is it the White Mountains or the
Snowy Range.
Snowy Range,
Yeah,
yeah.
fantastic. Not and hardly anyone on the roads. It was really special. We did have a couple days of rain this year, which when you're in an open car, isn't the best. But,
or when you're in an old car, you learn where the leaks are.
Sure.
and they all leak.
They all leak.
do. Yeah. But it was a great year. Just a great lineup of people. Some of the world's most interesting people. I'll leave it at that. And some amazing cars. I think we had, was it 3 D types and 4 C types, and there was the world's only original unrestored 1957 Testarossa, 2 words because it's old,
Wow.
with the original paint and all.
I am
that.
so bummed I missed that car.
Oh, fantastic!
So
And,
cool.
We talk about not wanting to drive our Porsches in the rain, so they don't melt or whatever. Here's this guy in a car that's, I mean, you can look up the value. Just racing through the rain.
50 million
I think
Right.
go
Plus.
up. Yeah,
plus.
yeah,
That
maybe
that,
half
that would
again.
not buy the car.
Yeah, hell of a thing. Just some amazing stuff. I mean, gosh, I don't know. What are some of your other favorites?
I was actually touching on my car, the fact that there was a Giulietta Sprint Zagato there,
Yes, that was a special.
and a Series 2 Type 1, but it was a car that actually started off life as an Alfa Giulietta Sprint Special, like my car, and the owner bought it and then took it over to Zagato to get it rebodied so he could race it.
Like in 1960.
Yeah,
Yeah.
62.
Okay.
In Dan's car, even in that crowd of cars, cuts a great profile. It's a beautiful car.
Yep.
And, when you're with a group where there are like 14 or 15 300 SLs, right? Something like Dan's Red Alpha really, stands out. It's a pretty great car.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm eagerly awaiting photos from this year because there's one where I have one of the front wheels almost off the ground going through a corner, and that's going to become a desktop wallpaper for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hell of a lot of fun. Yeah. It's just such a great, it's like the world's best summer camp, right? I mean, it's that kind of thing where you can just check out, people don't talk politics or business, it's just, it's a week of cars and just neat conversations and neat places. And just a thank you to Tom Horan, the longtime chair of the Grand, and the board. They just put on a fantastic thing. The volunteers, Thais, the organizer, and Aaron, and just and Mercedes-Benz, who brings a fleet of 6 or 7 AMGs each year. So idiots like me who are volunteers, can wheel those around for the week, which is great.
Ideally, unless a gazillion cars break.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, yeah. I had a couple good days though where I the car the whole day, and it's kind of a pleasure to pull up behind some amazing Gullwing or Ferrari short wheelbase or something to assist them. It's even that's kind of cool, right? So,
Totally.
yeah.
But yeah, like the route this year. So as Ryan said, we did end up going up north, and we ended up spending a bunch of time. Normally, you end up with about 3 different locations. This year, there were a record number of cars.
Yep.
Ton of them, like 120, 130, somewhere in there. It was a lot. But obviously, that many cars, that many people, that kind of limits on where you can park, hotels that can support it, all that. So we ended up doing 2 nights in Vail and 2 nights in Steamboat.
Steamboat, yeah.
And so, which was kind of nice because it meant that you kept the same room 2 nights in a row a couple times, and that was actually pretty cool. And then, kind of doing loops out from those locations. Drove a bunch of roads I had never driven before.
Of the 6 that are left.
Of the 6 that are left.
Yeah.
There was a couple stuff that I had just missed because it was like just off of something else and not necessarily readily apparent. Although watching someone go over the day we left Steamboat, the road out, it was kind of like this farm road type thing. The tarmac surface was perfect. I don't remember which road it was, but at one point there was a train tracks that went across it, and somebody in a Gullwing went over it ahead of us, and that looked really, really bad with how fast he hit that thing.
Was it a dark color?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It just like totally got very much unsettled, so I backed off a lot before going through there.
Wow.
But yeah, an absolutely fantastic bunch of folks looking at cars, getting passed by stuff. Like when you have a 250 short wheelbase go ripping past you at full chat, it's pretty great.
That would be, I think, the highlight for me is the sounds and the smells.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you can look at these cars at places like Pebble Beach and the different concours and stuff like that, in which point they're amazing. But to get to like hear one at full song and smell those like hydrocarbons coming off, and wow, that's where it's at for me.
Yeah, there was one guy in a D-Type who passed us probably like 6 times over various because what it is you go get ready to be fat. Because that's a big point. Like there's food everywhere. There's food all the time. They're just like giving you homemade stuff and good stuff and food. Oh my God, the food.
We should just share a little bit more about that because the Grand is a charity event, and every year I think we're up to something like $1 million that gets donated to these small towns and hospitals and groups for kids and schools and all this kind of stuff. And so
plus scholarships,
right? I think 10 scholarships, a significant amount of money each year to kids in these towns. But what they give us in return is they show us a good time, and they actually cook the meals for us. Shout out, was it Salida that had that spectacular meal with the roasted vegetables and all that? That was really over the top.
That was excellent.
Yeah, really, really great.
And also the encampment one.
That's always special.
That chicken chili thing was just...
I got there a little late. I got to the point where the tray was sort of at an angle, and they were...
It's okay. I have the recipe.
So I had 4 apple crisps to hold me over instead, speaking of getting fat. So, I think I cut you off though. You were.
Oh no! It's the entire thing about it is, to his point, all those people cook it, but it's like you go from, your breakfast in the morning, get rolling, figure out and it's interesting because everybody leaves at different times, so like you can kind of reset where you are in the group, or you may see a car for a while, or you may not see any other cars, or you may be rolling with a pack for a bit. It's kind of whatever you choose your own.
You go at
adventure.
your pace.
Yeah. You go at your pace, and it's just you have your various stops, and it's interesting locations where people occasionally will have stuff set up. There was one place that was a conservation location.
Yes.
Where we get trapped for about 20 minutes because of a train. Because it's on this side of the train tracks, and we're all pulled in there, and then the train pulled up and just stopped. It was like, all right.
Nice.
Probably wanted to see the car show.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But going out and they usually have stuff set up to like kind of teach the folks who on the Grand about whatever their thing is, because a lot of these things are working off donations as well, so they're looking for whatever assistance they can get, and also they do get something from the Grand as well for setting us up. And it's super interesting and cool and lovely. But you do that, so it's like you end up with a morning stop, lunch, and then an afternoon stop, and then dinner. So it's just there's food coming at you all the time.
Yeah, and the other thing that's neat is you go to some of these small towns, and they'll bring all the kids from the local school will come out, and most of these owners, really everyone's very generous, and they let these kids sit in these amazing cars, these old Bentleys and Ferraris and Aston Martins, and it must be surreal, right, for them. And you think about the the young car enthusiasts, that this is sort of giving a kick in the butt to, right? Kind of getting things in high gear, I guess. It's and it is. Talk about the cars too. These old Bentleys, like these old blower Bentleys, and I think there were like 8 or 9 of those. There was a whole crew from Ireland who came over, primarily in Bentleys. You could tell because one had a little stuffed leprechaun up in the front by the supercharger,
which was the It was the prototype blower Bentley.
Because of course it is.
So that like 29, 30,
31 or 30,
somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there,
yeah.
And that thing was fast. Like I had to work to pass that car.
And this group from Ireland, they actually had the cars shipped to L.A. and they drove the cars to Colorado from L.A. and then drove 1,000 miles to the Grand, which is pretty amazing.
And then back to LA.
And it's great like that. It's I think the highlight for me, or one of the many highlights, was getting to spend the day with Rod Emery in one of his outlaw cars with him at the wheel. He's a shoe, and the car's amazing, and not a rattle or those cars are built so solidly. They settle in at high speed. I mean, they're as stable and whatever as a modern Porsche. They're just fantastic cars, and you don't know.
There you
nice
go.
one,
Just go ahead and ask Don.
Yeah.
There's your car. There's your Grand car.
Yeah, right.
You don't know what it's going to be like sitting sharing a cockpit with someone for 4 or 5 hours.
Because it's not like a modern S-Class.
No.
Like you are sharing a car.
Yeah.
My elbow needs the space for a minute here. Yeah.
So we were in the rain, so probably for a good hour there, I was cleaning the inside of the windscreen as Rod Emery was behind the wheel. I mean, like, come on. Like, whose life is this?
Yeah,
that's pretty
wild.
damn cool, right? So, hell of a nice guy, too. Truly a nice guy. So, you guys know him a bit, so, yeah.
That's funny. Dan knows what it's like to share a cockpit with a different guy.
It's true.
Yep.
Very true.
Yeah, that's okay. But that's okay. No, that's awesome.
Did we mention the bear in the garage?
Right.
There was a bear
Yeah, there was
in Vail?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
There were bear prints on my car.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Wow.
There might be a connection there.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
It was it was a very small bear because nothing was dented. But yeah, there were paw prints all over it. My windshield wiper had been not fully snapped off, but it had been unclicked from where it was latched in there. So I had to put that back together again.
Wow.
The people parked next to me, it actually ripped through their tonneau cover on their MG.
Did they have a sandwich?
wow.
No, they had water in the car, and it chewed into a couple of those. No, the issue was there was someone in another car, potentially someone who I know, who occasionally keeps food in the car, and that food bag had been pulled out of that car and was sitting next to it.
Got it.
Wow.
So there were also bear prints on the front end of a gull wing.
That's
So-
good.
If only they had warned the people at the drivers' meeting that could
Yeah,
happen.
yeah.
So,
Jeez.
Holy cow.
yeah. Talk about the animals too. Like a flock of sheep. We came around a corner and there were like free range sheep. There were cows. there
Cows,
were,
free range
I mean,
cows.
elk, and I think a moose or two. I mean, they're it's an adventure.
Yeah.
And how often you get an adventure, right? As an adult, right?
Yeah.
It's just I don't know. It's just a pretty special thing. So,
Yeah, it was super excellent.
yeah.
Wow.
So
That's entertainment.
it
Did you
is
tell we liked it?
Yeah, I know. I'm trying not to listen.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah, it's-
But going back to your original question, like my whole thing started on this was I filled in last year in someone else's car as a co-drive, and literally 2 days into the event, I was like, I need to do this with my dad. Just that was where my head went to immediately. So I just started puzzling through what I needed to do to figure out and make that happen. So that turns into the car searching, what's eligible, what makes sense. It is helpful having Tom on a text chain to be able to say,
yeah.
what do you think about this?
yeah.
Right.
Hypothetically, if someone had this car,
Yes.
would they get in?
Yeah.
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 So that was useful. The upside is that the car that I actually went after is the car that I own right now, which is a 1960 Alfa Romeo Giulietta Sprint Special, in Alpha Red.
Nice.
And it to go full circle on this, the other thing that was funny about it was that I reached out to a few people when I started looking. I was doing auction sites. I was looking at all those things. But after a few weeks of not finding what I was looking for, I ended up reaching out to Derek Tam Scott because I know he does car brokering and said, hey, man, I'm looking for one of these. Can you tell me about can you keep an eye out? And he's like, well, I know of an alloy body car. And I was like, that is a little bit outside of my price range. Those go for considerably more money. They only made 10 of them.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. But anyway, in reaching out to him, I went ahead and, I continued looking. I was looking at some other stuff, and he got back to me 3 weeks later, and someone he knew had actually spotted this car in a garage while they were prepping the house for sale
Oh, wow.
and was taking pictures and everything. So he just sent over pictures randomly, completely outside of, there was no request. It was just happenstance. We're like, hey, look, cool car. And so Derek was like, can you ask him if it's for sale? And he asked the guy, and the guy was like, well, it wasn't, but I guess it is. So
Wow.
I ended up, he put us in touch. We chatted. And after chatting, he decided I was a good fit to buy the car, agreeing on a price and everything. Then the car ended up going up to Tazio's father's shop, Patrick Otis, who's noted in the Ferrari restoration world, primarily mechanical restorations, engine rebuilds, things of that nature. Nothing cosmetic. But he's also an Alfa fan. And so the car ended up going there as kind of like the handoff point to fix a few things. And then it turned out the brakes were bad. So I went ahead and had them fix the brakes and flew out there, checked the car out, all that good stuff. So in talking with Derek about it, one of the things that I noted about the shop itself was there were multiple Grand stickers around the shop because
Nice.
multiple cars had been worked on there. And talking with Tom, it turns out one of the cars that he had previously had the engine rebuilt there before he had owned it. And so it was kind of like this weird little, useful thing of like, oh yeah, we're doing this thing. And he's like, yeah, I'd love to do that. And I was like, well, you should totally do it.
Right.
So that,
I was just going to say we should give their business a shout out. It's OTS & Co. It's
Yes.
in Berkeley, California. And of course, Derek is half of the Carmudgeon podcast, Jason Camisa as well. So it's a small world, right?
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
it is a very small world. The other funny thing with that was with the OTS & Co. And I completely lost my train of thought. So go me.
it's my fault.
It's all right. No, I was going to tag off of something and I'm just lost, but that's fine. Anyway, oh yeah, now I remember. The day that I went out there was the day that they had actually gotten in that blue Lancia Stratos. So I actually drove out there in the Macan that I bought here. And Derek actually laughed. He's like, I don't think I've ever seen a Macan with carbon ceramics before. But anyway, I had walked in, I was looking over the SS and like, oh yeah, this is cool. And I come walking out and there was a blue Lancia Stratos parked in behind my Macan.
Wow.
I was like, all right, I'm having a day
Yeah.
now. This is definitely a
Right.
day.
Wow.
Yeah, and they went on and on about the Grand on our show. They had just done the California Melee, and they've done other events. And,
Yeah.
and their podcast is sponsored by Haggerty. So I was a little careful with so I was a little surprised with their candor, but they just thought it was the best thing ever. Not to speak for them, but just had a great time, I think, and would love to be back and love to have them back. They were great.
Totally.
Yeah, yeah. Some of the younger guys for sure on the Grand too. So
Yeah.
it's nice to see.
Part of what I think, and having not participated in it yet, but I think part of what the magic is in my head is that the cars don't get newer.
Yes,
They drew a line, and when it started in what, like 89, 88? Yeah. And so the cars were 30 years old.
Yeah, think about that.
So, my Volvo 240 station wagon that I grew up with is what we would be using now.
yeah.
I mean, that's not a sports racing car,
Yeah.
but it's of that. It's old enough,
An
right?
E30, right?
Yeah.
I mean, those cars don't seem old enough.
No.
That's yeah.
Yeah. And that's the point in time. And modern traffic and modern roads and modern infrastructure and modern tires have improved, but you still have this era of cars where it seems like you can kind of flog them and push the speed limit, but you don't have to be doing double or triple the speed limit for them to be engaging and at the limits of adhesion and things like that. And I don't know, that seems pretty fun.
I can confirm after driving a 65-year-old car for a week, like it is kind of exhausting. Like,
Right.
and my car's not hard to drive, but like it's a whole other level of just sensory input coming in. It's everything with the wheel, and the fact that it is a lightweight car, so you feel every little bit of breeze, and it's a live rear axle. So when you're going through a corner, like you need to look out for bumps and stuff, otherwise the entire back end is going to shift out on you. And it's on 155, so you don't have all the grip in the world.
Right.
So it's real easy to get up on that grip limit, and make the tires sing a little bit, and still be under the speed limit.
Right.
That sounds pretty special.
But that was the whole thing with it is like, while I knew, you do 1,000 miles across Colorado in September, like stuff breaks. And so that was the thing that went through my head was I need to get a hold of a car as quickly as I can. So that way I can, something that is reasonable, that fits my needs. It doesn't need too much work, no rust, any of that. But I needed something that I could get here and get dialed in well ahead of time, get enough time to actually get the mechanicals sorted and taken care of. So I put a bunch of miles on it, figured out what it needed, and fortunately got lucky at a shop up north.
And they were still working on it, what, a month before the event?
A week before.
A week, yeah. So
Yeah, because we kept finding stuff, and then it's like with any old car, or the other thing is it's like picking at a scab. Like it started bleeding again. I wonder what happened. Yeah, maybe we'll leave that scab alone. Well,
yeah. But it made it.
it did make it.
Yeah.
Let's see, the Sunday after the Grand, I stopped. I had actually gone out with some friends. Was on my way home, stopped at the gas station by my house, and the starter failed.
Wow.
So I bump started it, got it onto my lift, and then went ahead and got another starter installed that week.
Wow.
But that's the only problem
Yeah.
I ended up having with it. Ran cool, ran great. Put a 1-2-3 distributor in it, so modern electronic ignition, so you can actually adjust curves with your phone.
Wow.
That's pretty nice. You can also disable the car.
Oh, wow.
You can go in and there's a pin to get into the distributor, but you can hit a thing, immobilize, and the car will not start at that point, which is kind of amazing.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that for some
modern
big
joy.
Yeah. Yeah. So Ryan, tell me about volunteering for him. What
Well, so that's been a fun journey. We were doing the steering committee, I guess it was about 4 years ago, and I had heard about the Grand, heard it was amazing, didn't really know anything about it, but we were actually here at an event at Porsche Colorado Springs, and Tom came up to me, and I didn't know who he was at the time, and someone elbowed me later and said, "Hey, you know who that is? That's Tom Moran, the chair of the Grand." And apparently he listened to the show, and he asked if I'd like to be involved, and of course I did. And so I ended up that first year volunteering. I guess you could say the low rung as a volunteer is to drive the luggage truck every year. So they get the biggest rider truck I think you can rent without a CDL, right? And I'd never driven anything like that. I was terrified. Of course, I wasn't going to say no. And I immediately proceeded to drive into the keypad at the storage space as soon as I took the keys to the truck that first year. But that's what I did the first year. And I fell into this thing of writing the car descriptions for the route book. So I think one of the really neat things about the Grand is the route book. And so a lot of time and pride is taken in the route itself. And there's a great guy, Alan Magnuson, who writes that. And there's a narrative to it, right? He talks about the history of there was a battle of such and such at this town, or, this bridge was built in, 1932 and it's the only truss bridge west of the Mississippi, whatever, And so that's a really neat thing to read and follow along as you follow the route. But then there's also a section about, with the car descriptions themselves. And the joke is, you've got people will send in anything, right? As part of the application, people are to send in a paragraph or so. And some people do exactly that. Most people do. Some people don't send much, or it's a late edition and you don't have much to work with. Other people send 30 pages and you've got to whittle it down to, 200 words or whatever it is.
Or the entire service history of the car.
Yes, that also happened this year. So, and so I've sure learned a lot about cars. I was more of a modern car guy until I got involved with the Grand. I've had modern Porsches. I've never really owned a vintage car, or at least nothing older than about a 1981, I guess. And so I've learned a lot. And, it's such a neat thing because there are so many cool cars, right? There are cars I didn't even know existed, like Oscas, right? And I think an Osca is a car that the Maserati brothers sold away the rights to their name or something. And so then for a few years, they were building this car called the Osca, which is this tiny thing. There's a car called the Bocar, which was made in Lakewood or Englewood, Colorado. Just outside of Denver, right? I mean, and I think we had 2 or 3 of those this year.
Yeah.
So I've learned a lot, but that's what I do as a volunteer.
2 real, 1 continuation.
That's right. Well, the continuation car was just there as a backup or something.
Yeah.
I think that was actually in the Grand because they do hold to these rules. But yeah, that's what I do, and it's a lot of work, but I really enjoy it, and I'm very fortunate because then I get to drive one of these AMG cars, right? So I spent the first couple of days in an AMG GT, right? I mean, that doesn't suck, and I've been very fortunate to get involved because I don't know if organically, I'd probably be a few years away, right, from owning a car or being a part of it organically. So very, very fortunate, and appreciate doing that. But it's primarily a volunteer organization. I think there's one paid person, one person on salary. Everyone else, the board, everyone else is a volunteer, and I think that's something else that makes it kind of special, right? It's unique, right, compared to other events of its kind. So
how many? Police officers, patrolmen?
So that's you can tell.
9.
There's 9 of them.
Yeah.
There's 9 of them.
What do they call them? What's their nickname?
The
Motors.
The Motors.
Yeah.
So they're really the best of the best. The elite, tend to be younger guys, and they're on these BMW 1200s or something. They're not the Chips bikes or the Harleys that we think
Right.
of. So they're these fast bikes.
Yeah,
and
so
they're
I
an
mean,
integral
part of this, the first time we went up there, the garage had like 100 cars in it, and the value was over $500 million.
Yeah, right.
So
Yeah.
you've got these amazing pieces of art and that are incredibly valuable. So I think partly to keep the people driving them in check, you have the highway patrol with, and also to help, protect the cars, keep everybody safe as a way to, just ensure that this is going to be the top tier event. And this is another thing I think that really separates the Grand from any other road rally thing that I've heard of. I know that some events will like hire an off-duty police officer to go in a civilian car and help get the thing started and block a road or something like that. But these are 9 guys that are out there for the whole event, escorting you and telling you, hey, keep up, hey, slow down.
Yeah. And for the record, all road rules are followed. But it is nice to have them, and they are also one of the big beneficiaries each year of the Grand's charitable doings, and it's the family foundation for the state patrol. So if an officer is killed or injured in the line of duty, it's the fund to help them, and so there's always a big check written every year. But they're great guys because they're enthusiasts too, right? Some of them have sports cars of their own, and and just good guys, and it's just those are the guys you want on your side for sure. Right?
Totally.
The chief of police shows up every year to speak, which is which is a big deal of the state patrol. Young guy, he's about 6'8" too, kind of an intimidating guy, you know, which is pretty cool. But
Yeah. I think my dad's kind of like, Jesus.
yeah, they keep us in line, and they're good guys, and yeah, it's just they're definitely a part of it. They're part of the mix. It wouldn't be the same without them.
Did anyone get kicked out?
I think every year there's maybe someone, but
Wow.
yeah, I mean that's just because, like I said, they're there to enforce the rules, and if
Right. Keep it
if
safe.
anyone would be to be driving
Yeah.
dangerously.
Keep it classy, San Diego.
Yeah, but it's a very, very responsible group. It really is. It really is. And and they're older cars, right? It's and capable drivers, and these are people that do this kind of thing a lot too. So yeah, it's a very safe. I mean, I think the safety record is pretty spectacular.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
So to that end, talking about the motors. So on the first day. Well, I ended up going up on Monday morning with a couple other folks, and so we got in a little bit later than some others, and introduced my dad to a bunch of people and everything. But day one, we went from Vail up to Steamboat. We went over Vail Pass and Berthoud and Gore, and like it was
Passes you didn't even know existed.
Yeah,
There are
right.
a lot of them in Colorado.
it was a pretty good day.
Yeah.
But after we left, it was post lunch. It was after lunch, and we stopped at this ranch place, which is pretty cool. And that's the other thing too, is like all of these stops, you end up with the cars arrayed in different ways. Either people they have a set thing, or they just kind of line you up along streets. But it's just like it kind of gives you an opportunity to again, like I said earlier, about shuffle the entire deck. And get to like maybe talk to someone else, talk to a different owner, look over a car that you hadn't really noticed before. And so when we ended up leaving there, I ended up with one of the motors behind us, and it was a 70-mile stint after that up to Steamboat. And he locked in behind us and stayed with us for almost the entire 70 miles.
Wow.
And it ended up raining on part of that. And for a while there, like we ended up catching up with open Maserati and a C-Type. And we were just kind of tucked in behind them, cruising along. And then it started raining. And those are both open cars.
Right,
So those guys slowed way down to like, readjust and everything. We passed them. The motor followed us. And then we got into this section where two more of them popped in behind us, then ended up passing. Two of them passed us. The one guy stayed with us. And I was like, well, these guys are going. It's like, all right, cool. And it went into a twisty section. And, we weren't going crazy fast or anything like that, but it was just like this nice, like open road in front of us. And then we get out of it and realize those two motors are exactly the same distance ahead of us. And I'm like, all right, cool. We did pretty good through there. And then the guy who was following us pulled by, gave me a little, come on, let's go. And we were cruising along after him up through the next section. And then we ran across someone else who clipped a deer very lightly, caused him a broken headlight and a slight dent on the front of the car. So
Wasn't even the primary, I guess, car. It was bounced off a car, I think, going in the other direction. So it wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
It's-
But anyway, so they all pulled off, but we ended up meeting up with them after the fact and chatting with them with the guy. He was like, I just was really enjoying watching your car go through corners. Like it leans, but it just goes and it looks so good. And
But you do sort of have to recalibrate your brain, like that you've got these guys behind you and or in front of you, and like
Yeah.
it's,
Cop.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no,
right?
it's
Like,
okay. Cop.
Yeah.
No, it's okay.
well, that was the other thing too, that my dad was like, I've never had a cop tell me to go faster.
Yeah, right. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
That's pretty special.
It really is a special.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, it was, and we weren't doing anything crazy or anything like that. It was just, it was rainy and trying to take it easy. But no, come on, let's go.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's cool. So Dan, we know what you want to take on the Grand next year. Ryan, what's your target? You've done it a few years. If you were going to try to source a Grand car, what would you be after? Are you hardcore open, super old, getting wet?
Well, I'm a giant, so I need a car that I can fit in. I've
Yes.
talked about these Oscars and some of these these Maserati bird cages and
Yeah.
beautiful cars, but I don't fit, right? I sat in it was a pre-war Alpha. And the owner was at least my height, but you sit on top of these cars or an Allard or something, and you're pretty exposed. I think I've settled on something that I can probably afford to, and that's a 356. Now the thing is with the Grand, it can't just be any old 356. It's got to be a 60 or earlier, or at least the series had started.
Yeah, it has to be B or earlier.
Right, and it's got to have the beans too, right? And that's why a lot of guys, Tom included, well, and I don't think I'm sharing any secrets here, Rod was there in part to deliver Tom's new car, which is this amazing Aston Martin green car. Something like that's perfect, I think, right? Because it's there's plenty of room, it's got plenty of power, it can brake and it can turn and all this stuff. So I think for me, and in my my modest budget, a 356 would be kind of great. But the problem is, there's some spectacular cars in the Grand, and a 356 is kind of like
It's a Beetle.
that's and so Alphas are a great move, though I think, right? I mean, it's just
I think so. I though admittedly, I was looking at what was there because there were two. So there was the SZ, which converted. Those are super rare anyway. They only made 262 of them, I think. Just out of the box. There were other cars that were converted in period before they sold them. This car was converted after they were selling them, so it's a slightly different body shape to it, which makes it unusual and again interesting. But like Tazio and Derek, they had a 57, 58 Sprint Veloce, which is like, those are, they're not soft money, but it's an actual interesting car. And Tazio is the one who actually did all the mechanical work on it and everything and upgraded the brakes. And dude knows how to drive. He can absolutely wheel that car. So that was there, but there was also an alloy body Sprint Veloce,
Wow.
which is like, all right, well, that's another bonk.
Yeah.
But there were also a couple of just regular Spiders, Alpha Giulietta Spiders, which not crazy power or anything like that, not crazy expensive. It would probably be worth doing an engine upgrade on it just to deal with the mountains.
Yeah, and I think at least one of them had been punched out a bit. But I think a Gullwing or a 300 SL Roadster would be a fantastic Grand car. And I've gotten to do a couple of sections in those cars.
That's why there were 15 of them.
And that's the Grand, right?
Yeah.
Like we're also going to see 15,
Yeah.
right? It's just, but something like that or 356 is kind of like where things start, right?
Yep.
It just goes from there, which is pretty spectacular.
Yeah, there are quite a few interesting options, but it's kind of like, it is that question
Those are
of,
safe bets. You don't see a lot of either of those broken down ever.
no,
right?
you really don't. But there's like other stuff. Like when I was also kind of scanning around, like I locked in on this relatively early because it was interesting to me. Like that was the other thing too. I didn't want to just buy a car that was eligible. I wanted to get something that I actually wanted to get, and that sort of limits you on just like spending money on the first thing that will pass muster. I think I'm still very much in the whole, I need to buy things that are interesting to me. Otherwise, what's the point?
Sure.
But there were a few cars that were kind of interesting, just not as interesting as this was. Like you can get, something in the 60, 70 range that's like an oddball race car that was made in the U.S.
Some of these specials.
Yeah. And, like a 50, between 55 and 50, 58 or somewhere in there, somewhere in the 50s, there are all these people who were just turning out this oddball stuff.
Yeah.
And so like there were different engine options, and that kind of makes a difference on, how well the car will work. But again, if you're looking for that eligibility piece of it, there are options out there, but you do have to dig a little bit.
Not to completely take up your hour, but there was a car that was interesting this year. It was only the second Corvette ever in the Grand.
Wow.
So our friends Derek and Mike were in this, was it I should know, they were 59?
Yeah.
Or 60 Corvette?
Yeah,
And
C1.
and that actually seemed like a pretty good,
It's a cool choice.
yeah. I know maybe doesn't have the prestige of some of these other cars, but it fit right in. It looked good. It was a crowd favorite, right? In every town we pulled in. So,
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of another underdog, I guess, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, totally an underdog. But also, too, it's kind of an interesting choice in that it is something that appeals to a wide variety of people. Everybody in the U.S. knows what a Corvette is. So seeing an old one, a lot of times people, and that goes to the point of too, that car is almost a little bit more accessible in that regard, because that's the kind of car that like you run into older folks in some of these towns, and they're like, oh yeah, I had a friend who had one of these.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they look pretty good going down the road.
It did look good going down the road. It was hilarious when it was raining.
Yeah.
We waved on the way by with our windows up and our windshield wiper going. I only had the one windshield wiper.
Open vet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like, it's just not even worth trying to put the roof up.
Yeah.
They did put the roof up on the Super on Friday, because Friday it was kind of pouring out of the gate. That's where I learned I need to, and I have the stuff at home too. That's probably my project for this weekend is going through and resealing around the seals on my windshield, because I had a couple of spots where water came in through there. So, and I don't want to pull the entire thing apart because I don't want to risk breaking the windshield, because it is a very, very expensive windshield. So, and a pain to get.
Yeah. Justin, what would you drive? What's your 16 earlier?
Oh, Emery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you can do
What
it.
about you? What are you doing?
I am going to find Volvo
There you go.
444 rally car.
Is that the Amazon? Is that
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, it's pre-Amazon.
Pre-Amazon,
Amazon was the 122. The 444 it's kind of looks a little bit like an old Ford, but it's kind of the size of a Beetle.
Okay.
They did rally race them in Sweden back in the day. They've got 4 seats. It's the same basic engine that's in my 1800.
Okay.
They had a bent windshield, like early 356s.
I love those bent windshield cars.
Yeah, so I think that would be a really cool one. It's big enough. I do fit in them. They're cheap enough where I could afford it. And I think if I found one that had actual race pedigree, then it qualifies as a sport or race car
Yeah.
from back in the day.
As long as it's got the power, right?
Yeah. You'd have to go a little old school hot rod on it, but my old Volvo, you could get that engine up to probably just under 200 horsepower, and it's the same thing, and you'd be fine. So
yeah. Got to give a special shout out to our friend Jim Bear, who I think you know.
Yeah.
He really drew the golden ticket this year and got to ride in a Gullwing with Mike Coons, who runs Mercedes-Benz Classic Center, as a friend, and got to drive a good bit of it as well.
Yeah, about 50%.
Yeah, and that was kind of neat because they were supposed to be in a 300 SL Roadster, something called Fantasy Yellow, which is kind of this pale yellow, and it was the the 60 or whatever show car for Mercedes-Benz. It was the car they brought to the New York Auto Show and the LA Auto Show and all this. Well, for whatever reason, they couldn't get it quite going. And so Mike
For whatever reason.
Yeah.
The video involves them, like, they had the engine open and you can just move the pistons.
Oh, wow.
It had small block pistons in it, not Mercedes pistons.
Right.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Mike ended up bringing a much rougher looking, but I think much more mechanically sound car, and it was a black Gullwing, but it was one that, I don't know if it was quite a barn find or whatever. It was mechanically strong. Maybe they even put another engine or whatever to get it going, but it was kind of rough around the edges. Like the paint, they just spray painted with black paint beforehand, threw a gumball on it with a number and called it a day. And it looks so cool because you never see a rough, Gullwing.
It was very outlaw-y.
Rough,
very
rough
outlaw
is
is the
good.
word, right?
Yep.
And so that was neat. And I think that made Jim's year. And that was all Tom, so thank you, Tom.
Yeah, Jim is actually, he went out to, there's a Macamisia, I can't even say it, Mach-E 3. It's an Italian car show that's going on in LA tomorrow. Jim is actually out there for that, but he was sending over pictures today because he met up with Mike and went to the Mercedes Classic Center. Sent us a ton of pictures. From
He was at the Peterson as well and saw Danny P, which is cool. So again, small world, right? But, Anyway, we should shut up and let you guys.
No,
do some
this
talking.
show's for you. It's not. Yeah.
So-
people get stuck with us every week. Right. So yeah, they're probably like, "Holy God, let's just pass the mics over to them."
Yeah, yeah.
So I did actually have some additional follow-on grand stuff because it was like the other bit was, so my dad and I obviously spent the week driving, doing stuff. And one of the things I didn't even think about was on the Friday night after you get back, there is there's a final dinner and auction, charity auction. And so usually what that is Tom gets up there and extracts money from a bunch of people. Not extracts. He's good at what he does.
Yes, he is.
But other people donate either adventure type things like a house in this place for a week. So people bid on that. Or,
It's good stuff.
It's real good stuff.
Yeah.
But they also give out awards.
Yes.
And unbeknownst to my dad and I, is we ended up winning an award.
Nice.
It's the Harlan Schwartz Award, and it's named after Harlan Schwartz, who passed away in 2003 on the Mille Miglia. And specifically, it was a bad accident. They were in their he and his daughter were in their Alpha. Ended up being a rollover thing. They both got launched. She ended up with a broken arm, and he passed away. And she still goes to the Grand on a regular basis. I don't remember seeing her this year.
She was not there this year, but they're a Wisconsin family.
Okay.
Manitowoc, Wisconsin.
Nice. But anyway, the Grand gives out an award for generational things, and usually it's parent brings along a child of some kind, and just like shares the experience.
Pass
And-
the baton kind of thing.
Yes, and in this case, I was the oddball in that I was the rare child bringing a parent along, and with my dad's boisterous personality and all that, we made an impression on people. So we ended up winning
Yeah,
that
that
award
was
this year.
special.
That's awesome.
I shed a tear when they were up there. It was really,
That's
really
awesome.
cool. It was heartfelt and awesome.
Yeah, it really it meant a lot to.
Yes.
It really meant a lot to us for that.
Couldn't not have gone to anyone better.
Well, it goes back to that whole thing of like, I need to do this event with my dad. I go through all this prep work, all this effort to get a car, get the car ready, everything all set up, and then cap it off with that. And it's like,
Right.
all right, cool.
Yeah.
I
Done.
I'm out. Yeah.
related his birthday is tomorrow, and
Oh, wow.
I'm not getting him
Yeah, he
anything
already
else.
got his present. Yeah, that's pretty good.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Just a phone call to say you're welcome.
yeah. Did you so accepting the award? Do you say anything?
Yes,
You spoke.
I did speak.
Okay.
I don't remember anything I said.
It was a blackout moment.
Kind of blacked out there.
Yeah, kind of. I do that anytime I give a presentation. So
No.
Well, it was great, and what your dad said was really special too. So it was definitely in the spirit of the Grand.
I primed him, and he knocked him down.
There you go.
That's pretty awesome. That's good.
Well, congratulations.
Yes.
I hope you can repeat next year. Yes.
It's a crystal bowl, right?
It's
Or
a
something.
it's a fruit bowl,
There's actually an award. It's
Yeah.
not just wow.
and it's engraved. It's sitting on my kitchen table right now.
That's pretty awesome.
It's very cool.
Do the cats sit in it?
No, no.
Well, they should.
Though one of them actually did walk up. So it's a fruit bowl. So it's a very smooth,
Yeah.
like easy surface. And one of my cats walked up and looked at it and got real confused because she saw herself upside down.
Yeah.
So
Wow. Well,
That's pretty fun.
squad goals.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe it can be you and me next year.
Yeah.
It won't be.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, your car is right there, right there. There's the option.
Yeah, it's true. But that's not
Where's
ours.
Joe? Joe, come on. Next year, week
Yeah,
off.
sure.
Yeah. That's-
Yep. Yeah, he'll take it.
That's a good plan.
Oh my gosh.
You guys have any shout outs, any follows you want to plug before we turn off the internet and all go home to our own beds? And
I want to give a shout out to two brothers, Parker and Bryant, who watch the garage along with the State Patrol at Vail,
Yeah.
in Vail, and every year, and they're just awesome. They are the two most dedicated guys, and
They missed some bears.
Yeah, right. Mhm.
they're a sneaky species.
I guess
But
so.
yeah, and I don't know that they get called out often enough. So I wanted to say,
Yeah, those guys are
say
great.
hello
That's pretty fun.
to them.
Yeah.
You guys, great guys. Give us a follow on that car show and on Instagram. We've got some cool shows coming up. I've had some cool shows the last few weeks. We've got a couple really amazing guests coming up. And to get you guys back on now that it's actually a real podcast, that would be fun. Check our show out as well. Say hello to my parents, who I know are watching. They watch every week. They watch you guys, and they
awesome.
send me notes in real time. So your two biggest fans. Up in
Sorry about the
Elliston,
F-bombs.
I don't know.
I think we missed it this week.
Right. Mhm.
You're in good company. But so those are my shout outs, I guess. And just thanks to Tom and the Grand and everyone involved. It was pretty fantastic. So
I got nothing.
Good enough.
We have our usuals. Stephen H.
Yep.
Always got some good questions. And then the shift guys. And then, Brian and Sherry. Hey, I think it's been a minute, but haven't seen those guys here.
I know.
Yeah. So thanks for tuning in. And come on down tomorrow. It's supposed to be beautiful. So,
There you go. Do you want to ask the question?
which one?
What? Let's ask both. What would Dan and Ryan select for the rally from our inventory? And I think that I will answer for them is the Emery Special
Yeah.
in speed yellow.
yeah.
That's quite a choice.
Yeah, it's got louvers and vents though, and that's kind of frowned upon. You want something that presents a little more like an original car.
All right.
But that would be an amazing,
Okay,
amazing
we'll
choice.
we'll swap out the doors, the louver doors.
Yeah, right.
Close
Yeah.
those
We'll
up.
put some tape over them.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a winner for sure.
Okay. It's a good choice. And then from our inventory, a daily, a weekend, and a fun car. His examples are 25 Panamera as his daily, the 22 GT3 Touring in agate gray for his weekend, and the 01 911 Turbo for his fun extra.
Okay. You want us to answer?
Yeah, you guys have to answer.
Okay.
Just got to wing it.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll take any GT3 Touring, I guess.
Okay.
What were the categories? It was fun, daily, and
And weekend.
weekend.
Yep.
That might be my weekend car. I think daily. Some of my enthusiast friends will kill me, but I'm kind of an electric convert now for a daily, as
Yeah.
I know you are.
Yep. I've got a black on black Taycan Turbo S
Yeah.
or an ice gray Macan Turbo. Those are your.
I'm in on the Macan Turbo.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe I'd go with the Macan.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that newest generation.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Okay, I like those choices.
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at this gas guy's talking about EVs.
Yeah, right.
They're never going to take over. They're never going to take off.
That's the thing is that I don't need my daily to be anything other than daily.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Yeah.
that's all there is to it. I have two old cars for doing
Yeah.
old car stuff.
Yep.
And you've owned electrics too. You've owned EVs,
Yeah.
at least one, right?
Yeah, one full EV, one hybrid.
Yeah.
I did like the hybrid quite a bit. So like I did actually the Cayenne that you swapped out of. I actually did.
It was a jamming car.
Especially with that new battery setup.
Yeah,
That's
no,
like
that's
kind
good.
of great.
It's great.
As far as fun cars though, I don't know, man. That 993 Turbo and Riviera Blue is kind of awesome.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah, that is a special thing.
That's pretty sweet.
This is
choice.
that RS Spider down here, which I understand you had something to do with.
Kind of everything to do with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be my weekend car.
That's a pretty hot car.
Yeah,
That
I
is
agree.
a-
We'll talk about that next week.
Next week,
Well,
yeah.
no, you can talk about it,
Okay.
but we'll have
I'm
it
just
on the
saying-
show.
Okay, good.
I'm just saying that would be the one.
It turned out pretty nice.
Yes,
Yeah.
it did. Yes, it did.
I think those are good answers.
Yeah, those are great answers.
And on that bombshell,
Yeah.
to quote Top Gear,
Right.
it's time to end. For Ryan and Dan and Justin and me, thanks for tuning in. Thank you guys for coming down, and thanks for participating
Yes.
in the Grand. It's fun to be able to live it a little bit through some really close friends' eyes. That just seems like such a dream event to put all of probably like the best era of cars in one place and go to really use them. What a dream.
Yeah.
So
It's pretty great.
Thanks for sharing.
Do
Thanks, guys.
recommend.
Yeah, always a pleasure. Thank you for having
And thank you very much. Yes.
All right, everybody.